I remember like going home and just wrestling with God. Like, I don't want to go back to the hood. I'm from one of the most hated gangs in LA. Like, I wasn't just from a gang, I was actively gangbanging. And there's active rival gang members. And my wife tells me, like, we need to plant a church.
I just feel like the Spirit was saying, like, look, just go and like start a church that can reach these individuals, this culture.
And I was like, man, I don't even know how to go back to the hood. Like, I don't even know, like, what am I gonna do? Walk up to the homies and be like, okay, here, I'm here to tell you about Jesus. And I was like, God, like, I just kind of want to leave that behind. Because I do trust me. And I was like, you know what, fine. You want me to plant a church in the hood? And you gotta make it happen. Like, you gotta make it, you gotta do something. Like, maybe like 4 to 5 weeks after this prayer, like, we're launching a Bible study in my homie Chino's house. And 9 weeks in, he gets saved and he wants to get baptized. And it blew me away. And in that moment, I knew, like, we're planting a church. We went at it, and God began to grow us. I think we got up to like 60 people, and we were just going at the hood and going at the hood and going at the hood.
There was just spiritual battle going on. Like, it was crazy. I mean, it was getting phone calls at 3 in the morning, people crying, people were losing family members. There were high-speed chases. There were just all kinds of things going on within the church.
That was our first focus, was to reach just the gang, the drug addicts. Didn't work out, just didn't. People were feeding off on each other's struggles.
I was reading through the book of Ephesians, and I realized that the issues that are happening in the hood are attached to the greater narrative of my city. And really, if I plant a church just for the hood, I'm perpetuating the problem of segregation. And you think of a city like Los Angeles, which is, I think, the #4 most culturally diverse city in the world.
We were talking about how, as a church, we could address the holistic issue of what is really happening in LA, and what is the tension in the different classes and different races.
Our whole philosophy of ministry shifted, and we changed our name to Refuge.
What our church is about is real people identifying real issues for real change.
The leaders of Acts 29 have come around us, they've supported us. We've had Acts 29 churches send out volunteers to serve at our church. We began to cast this new vision for a church that's really pressing the boundaries, for a church that's really saying, how can we be a place where all people, all tribes, all tongues and nations worship together here in our city?
What we would like to see happen is, as we're planting this church, and as God is bringing people in, identifying who's going to be the next team that we can send out, who's going to be the next iteration of how God is revealing himself and displaying his glory in San Fernando Valley.